Howdy friends, Ben Cohen here at Small House Farm, and today we're going to harvest some tomato seeds. Summer is in full swing, and we are enjoying the bounty of the harvest right now. One of the many things that we're bringing in from the garden are delicious heirloom tomatoes. Let's talk about how to save these seeds so we can enjoy these tomatoes for years to come. The process I'm going to teach you today will help you save seeds from full-size tomatoes, from cherry tomatoes, and everything in between. The key with saving tomato seeds is we want to make sure that we're saving seeds from open pollinated varieties as opposed to hybrids. This is because we know that they'll come back true to type. I can save seeds from this tomato, plant them next year, I get the same tomato, right? All right, now the equipment that we're going to need for this job, pretty basic. We're going to need a jar to collect our seeds in, a knife and a cutting board for cutting open our tomatoes, maybe a little bit of a scoop to get the seeds out, and a marker to label things along the way. Let's get started. We are going to save seeds from this gorgeous tomato right here, known as HEIRLOOM. Now this is a very rare tomato. Not very many folks are growing it. We got our seeds at a seed swap just outside of Cincinnati last year. Wildly productive, good sized tomatoes, beautiful color. Let's cut it open and see what it looks like inside. Now, looks here like our tomatoes got a little bit of bug damage in there. Not too attractive to look at, but that's all right. You know, there's nothing genetically wrong with these tomatoes, so we know that the seeds are still going to be good. So all we're going to do is just cut that bad spot right out of there. Get it out of our way. We still got all this tomato right here. And look at all these seeds. Now, you'll notice that I cut my tomato along the equator, right? You'll see not the stem end or the blossom end, but right in the middle. And this gives us access to all of the seeds inside. See all the chambers? It's going to make our job that much easier. So we're going to take our cut tomato, our container. In this case, I'm using a mason jar, but you can use whatever you have at home. You can reuse a jar from the kitchen, a small bucket, any kind of container is going to work for this. And then you're simply going to squeeze the seeds right out of your fruit. This is where your scoop can come in handy. Scrape those guys right in there. Collect them right into that jar. Now you might say, Ben, what are we doing squeezing these seeds out into this jar? I'll tell you. What we're doing here is the process of fermentation. What we need to do is break down this goo to make sure we get good, healthy, viable seeds. Let me explain to you why. Think about a tomato out in the field, right? Nice sunny day, it's warm, it's juicy inside of that seed. It's a warm, moist environment. This is literally the environment a tomato needs to sprout. Now, Mother Nature's too smart for that. So she puts growth inhibitor chemicals in that little jelly coating that we see around these seeds. So what we're doing here is we're breaking that down. A little bit of a workaround to get past Mother Nature's handiwork to ensure that we get good seeds. So we squeeze off the guts of our tomato, the seeds and some of the pulp into this jar, and we're going to add a little bit of water. And then we're going to cover it up, and then we're going to label it. Now, I'm going to label right here on the saran wrap that I used to cover it. But you could also put a piece of tape or something on the jar and label it there. Whatever's going to work best for you. So we're covering this up because as this ferments, as it breaks down and rots, it's going to attract all the fruit flies in the neighborhood of your house. So covering this up is going to keep them out of our tomato seeds. But while this ferments, it's also going to release gas. So if you're using saran wrap, you're going to want to go ahead, poke some holes in the top, help that gas come out. Another great option is going to be a finely woven cheesecloth. If you had something like that, you could put that over here, wrap it with a rubber band. That's going to work really, really well. Now these are going to have to sit up somewhere. We're going to say 3 to 4 days on average. The variable here is going to be the sugar content of the tomato, the heat and humidity of your environment. But on average, we're going to let this sit for about 3 to 4 days up in a sunny windowsill to break down. While we wait for our tomato seeds to ferment, this is a good opportunity to sample the tomatoes. Where's my salt shaker? Fast forward 3 or 4 days. And here we've got our fermented tomato seeds ready to go. Now you'll see there'll be a bit of a white scum that'll begin to build up at the top. I call that the funk. And once you see the funk, you know you're in business. These are properly fermented tomato seeds. So we're going to uncover them, add a little bit of water, give it a good agitation, and then decant off the stuff at the top. I'll add a little bit more water to it, rinse it around again, get all that little bit of debris in there. And I'll keep repeating this process until the water runs clear. Once my water is clear, I know that my seeds are nice and clean. I'll pour them off into a strainer and then put them out onto a well-labeled paper plate to dry. Now we're going to leave our seeds out to dry for maybe around 7 to 10 days. Again, it's going to depend on the humidity of the environment that these seeds are in, how warm it is in your house. But on 7 to 10 days, you're going to stir them around every couple of days. And when you think your seeds are dry, when they seem dry to the eye, when they feel dry to the touch, give them like 2 more days. And we're going to package them away and store them. Now when you package them away, we can choose a coin envelope, small Ziploc bag, little jar, whatever it may be. Whatever you choose, make sure that it's properly labeled with the name of the variety, the species, the year of the harvest. And then put it away in a cool, dark place, and your seeds will wait dormant for you until you're ready to grow them again in next year's garden. And it's just that easy to save seeds from your heirloom tomatoes and enjoy those tomatoes for years to come. Happy gardening, folks. Bye.